We've housed families, we've housed Russian families, Syrian families, Turkish families, we've housed them. I don't have a problem with how they housed people before. But these projects, throwing 95 staff out of their work, putting people into a hotel where that was a thriving business as it was.
It was, yes.
Why we got our own people, I'm going to mention the name of the place, is a Vista Hotel, 20 bedrooms with 19,000 people on the Carmarthenshire housing waiting list. Why do they have to live rough in the Vista Hotel, and these, 250 people are going to go and have spoon-fed 4-star hotel?
The Central Club.
What's going on, people? It's Cullen Mace from the Central Club podcast. Today we're on our way up to Llanelli, to the Stradey Park Hotel and Spa, where there has been protesting for over a month now. You won't see this much on mainstream media, and this is why we're going up. We've had countless messages of people to get up there. The backstory: Llanelli on the outskirts is a little village, and in this village there is a hotel. The population of this village is just under 500 people, and in one swoop there is going to be over 300 people being moved in, which will be migrants. The locals don't want this. They've been voicing their frustration, and they've been around the clock protesting, camping outside. So we're going to go up there. We're going to try and speak to some of the locals, some of the protesters. Who knows, they might not even want to speak to us, but rest assured we will stay central. Claire,
Yeah.
nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
Thanks for letting us come down with you.
It's alright, no worries, you're more than welcome. Well, let's just not forget, we still said no. That was our answer, we said no. If we were asked, do we believe we're asked? I feel we're just completely ignored.
Do you think that the generation we're in now and the way the media is, they portray it as if you protect your own communities by not letting migrants in? You are a racist. What would you say to those people?
Do you know what, like, that comment just bedazzles me. I work in a security group, not just defending myself from being called a racist, but I got guys on the books with us, the company I work for. They pay £6,000 a year for their immigration fees. Think how they feel. I've told them, like Nigerian guys, that I've been called a racist. They are absolutely disgusted. They want to do something for me, and I said no, we're not going to react, because we're not guilty of that. We're not a racist. These guys, they come along, they stand on that patch there. I don't know if you want to show, that is literally, they've been standing on there in groups of 30 people. They come from a unison, they're called Stand Up to Racism Llanelli. They're all from Swansea. They get paid £30 each time to come along and do that. So it's just like an acting role, isn't it? Really,
yeah, it's like crisis
really
acting,
cheaply paid acting role. I had a Mental Health Lives t-shirt on. I got called a racist for wearing that t-shirt as well. So they're not even reading, they're just following from a script, obviously. They don't faze me, but it's still not nice. It's not nice being called things like that, is it? So
hello, my name is Bramwell Richards, commonly known as Bram. I'm here to support the village of Furness because our country, and Wales especially, cannot afford to substantiate the amount of persons coming to this country which is nothing to do with colour or nothing to do with race. And just feel, as I understand, the Welsh Government recently has just taken 20% of the child meals for all children in Wales. So that's basically reducing the funding for Wales children or Welsh children. And there we are, offering 4-star accommodation to people to come into the country. We don't know who they are. Are they legal or illegal? And this is the problem. We're not 100% sure. I understand that they're not going to be allowed to stay in a hotel at all. They've got to intermingle with the community, and the village of Furness is majority more mature people as to both young people, so I think they're going to have difficulty in integrating with society. cops came here last week, right? And the fair dues, they are trying to be friendly, but they're technically pigs in the middle, aren't they? Piggies in the middle. So they go in there.
Information gatherers.
That's all they are.
So they come here. This is them now, right? Last week they come here. Cops at his head, he says like a TARDIS here.
This is where people stay then, is it?
Yeah, and if it's raining, we come in here.
Well, they sleep on the concrete, or they've got blow-up mattresses.
Chairs, and they've got camp beds.
Look at all the grubs.
Should have seen the food around the beginning. And originally,
Hi, are you okay?
Going up until about a fortnight ago, we had an electric board up here, about half a dozen plugs. We had microwave, fridge, teapots was because we thought we were losing. We took all the electric away and we got these portable gas fires now. 2004 was it? Was Labour, Tony Blair opened the borders, remember, with Europe. We had thousands of Polish people here. They just gradually came on their own, integrated solely in the population, set up businesses in town. And we've had no trouble. And then we had some Ukrainian families here who apparently allegedly are supposed to be going back to Ukraine when they settle down, and they've been set up in towns, mostly I think women with their children because their husbands are fighting, and they've integrated, no problem.
I think what you see on media a lot, especially Twitter, is coaches and boats full of just middle-aged men with no women or children. Is that what your worry is here?
Well, yeah, as I say, most of them allegedly are men. As you say, you see them coming off the boats. There's hardly any women. They're all like teenage or young males.
Yeah. And there's no way of vetting them either, is there? There's no way of checking.
Getting back to what I said earlier, is it going to? We don't know if they're legal or illegal.
Yeah.
Or what their criminal records might be.
Well, they haven't got a passport, have they?
So if you was 30, 40 years younger, would you be doing anything different for this?
No. I've always been a person who's looked at middle ground and always fight for the underdog.
Yeah.
A lot of people have got a lot to lose, if you know what I mean. Some of them are local business people and things like that, and I don't think, some of them are afraid to stick their heads above the parapet, if you know what I mean. But the strength feeling here is, as it has been all along, we don't want them. And we don't want them actually dispersed into the community, which is what the council and just about everybody running the action committee want to do. And no, we don't want that. As far as we're concerned, they shouldn't be here in the first place.
In what sense?
Well, if they were legal, they wouldn't be coming across on rubber dinghies. They'd be catching a flight, which is 1/100th of the price they're paying to come across in a dinghy.
The population of Furness as a village is only just over 400, and automatically within a 24-hour period they're going to integrate another 30% to this population, which cannot be sustained. There's one little grocer shop, come a convenience store, there's 2 pubs, and that's it. And all of a sudden there's going to be over 200 people coming to residency. For how long, we don't know.
How are they going to be policed when they're here? Have you had any information on that? Are they going to be left to their own devices? Are they allowed to stay in the hotel during the days?
No.
What's going on?
Well, as far as we understand, allegedly, that's the famous word, they are not allowed to stay in the property. They've got to basically go out and about in the area. Presumably that will mean walking to town, intermingling with young women, because they've got a reputation, allegedly, of harassing young people.
Well, I'm here because I'm concerned about the young girls and local public services, to be honest with you.
Yeah, so I'm assuming you're seeing other areas across Britain fall into that, is it?
Well, I have, and if you follow things on YouTube or Facebook, you see a hell of a lot of what's going on, which is hidden from the public. But like, power of Facebook, we know what's going on all around the world, basically.
Yeah.
And we just don't want it in this town.
Yeah. Are you racist?
I'm not racist at all. Anybody says I'm a 3rd generation Greek Cypriot, so how can I be racist? Yeah.
Is there much hope that this will go away?
No, it won't go away. the Home Office are behind it. The Home Office don't give up. They will just carry on putting people wherever they want to. They've made statements saying that it's going to be no more hotels. They're not going to be putting hotels anymore. But here they are. They're still piling them into a little hotel in South Wales. So it's not such a little hotel. There's 77 bedrooms there. It's a 4-star hotel. The only other one in Llanelli is the 3-star hotel, which is the Diplomat. But they don't care. It's money, and that is all it is.
Do you think they will eventually get in this hotel?
Oh, it's just, well, I think it's just a matter of fact. The only delay is now they're waiting for beds to arrive to put together for them, and linen, etc. So yes, well, they've had the go-ahead that they can use this 12-foot passageway here, which the judge sanctioned or created for them. But also the judge said, as long as you demonstrate lawfully, you can carry on demonstrating as well.
If you wanted to attack a country, the first thing you'd do was infiltrate soldiers into there. And then that's basically, in my opinion, that's what they're doing.
You think the soldiers coming in, do you, and trying to infiltrate this country?
That's basically what it is. They're putting them in different parts of the country. And when the new lockdown comes along, and we all reject the new lockdown, as it were, they've got plenty of people that they've put up in this country that they can actually turn around and say, right now, if you want to stay here, you'll do as we tell you. Get out there and sort them out. That's what they will. That's my opinion. I don't say it's everybody's opinion.
That's a frightening thought.
It is, but that is my opinion.
And do you think that this will eventually fall to migrants?
I think it's inevitable. The Home Office just seem to get their way. They do what they like. They're a law to themselves, aren't they?
And you've been seeing that, have you? Here,
we've seen that.
Slight
Yeah,
changes.
Yeah, we've seen it. Look at that. That's a jewel in the crown, right? I remember. I've been to weddings, funerals, wakes here, christenings here. Look at that place. It's beautiful, isn't it? In a small community like this of 400 people, it's disgusting.
Where do you see Britain in 50 years' time? 25 years' time?
Down on the floor, kneeling on a prayer mat.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So this is the side of the Stradey Park Hotel. As you can see, they've trimmed the hedge here. I think this is where the security were trying to basically walk out of, because they blocked the entrance, guarded by a special branch funded by Police Hedge Fund. And what you've got here is the caravan where Claire is staying. We're going to go and speak to Claire now before we go, just to get some final words. But as you can see here on this angle, just how beautiful the hotel is, really. And yeah, will it stay like this? I don't know.
One of the ones of many who've been here from the very beginning. So I mean, people have come along midway through, maybe a week after, a few days after, or they've been at the beginning, they've come back and caught up after time. People still got commitments as well, and people can't be here all the time. There's a lot of people who do, literally they're on a rota and they do every other night, or they do every night shift, like a work commitment. It's crazy the input of people, what they put in, but this is how much it means to everybody. We keep our streets safe and keep that in there. We said no, and we need to make sure we're watching how these people are working. You know what? We feel we have a duty to keep a check and keep a watch of how things are going. We've started from here, so we have to see it through to the end. The same as the behaviour in Penally. We need to see it through until the end, because we said no, and that's our final answer. We still said no. We recently spoke with a member of staff down at the Royal Welsh Show last week, and she said they've got their own independent council, and they said no, and their council listened to them because they have it independent, like a parish. She called it a parish.
Yeah.
So that would be good if we could aim towards getting our own independent council, because our own council didn't listen to us. They've, as I mentioned earlier on, they seem to have been paid out £110,000 each, and what can you buy without a house? You can't buy dignity or future.
So this is
like
like independent, like, you know, individual councillors have been paid out 110.
Carmarthenshire County councillors and our MPs. if I'm not chasing up so much of this activity that we are having to report daily because of the behaviours performed there. They know what they're doing, they know their games. So, I mean, we see it daily in our job is jumble the workload up, make it difficult for the reports to come in. Well, we are on the computers and we are making the reports, so if they think that none of this is going to be reported and logged, then they can think again. You're going to have to make an easier way to report, because there's going to be a lot of reports come in when these lot come in.
So you're already preparing for them to arrive.
Yeah, we want to make sure that the people who are providing them services, because people who are maybe bringing along the beds or people who are bringing along food, because they may not like to deliver, they may not like to give services to this project themselves. So we'll be there and we'll make sure we'd like to let them know. Yeah, we're not going to stop them, we can't stop them, but we're just saying, guys, are you sure you want to provide services to these, so they have the right to know who they're delivering to. They could be completely against it like us, you know. They may have had somebody in their family or friends or from in their town that they know of who have dealt with abuse from these people who are known as aliens. They don't have documents. They're being given UK citizenship for what? Why are they just being given a UK citizenship? We've got like immigrants here who've got to pay their immigration fees, and it's not cheap. So how is it being just landed straight into their hand?
Was a rumour that I heard in Cardiff, and maybe you could give me more insight into this.
Yeah.
That like the hotel and spas, because these are hotels that they're actually using the swimming pools. They have access to the facilities. Is this something you know about?
What risk assessment's been taken on that then? Because these are not being run as hotels. So they got lifeguards? They got what? I mean, these procedures got to be followed. So what? They're not even showing documents of their security guards, for God's sake. Here we are. I had to go up Saturday morning when the security guards turned up. I was asked by the community with the protest side, Claire, could you please go and get your badge, because these boys seem to have forgotten how to put their badges on. They came in, they said, we're security for the hotel, we've got our badges in the car, we'll park the cars up, we'll come down, we'll have a chat with you guys. What they said, their own words, we're with you guys, we're supporting, we don't want these here ourselves. Well, Derek, you were there yourself. I don't know if you mind talking in the background. We had Mid and West Wales police officers coming down here following reports of the lead element group who were clearly playing games. It's like a movie scene. Yeah. And they were antagonising, they were calling false reports to our police officers. We pay our police, our tax money. So it wouldn't have gives them the right to pick up the phone and put reports in saying that we were obstructing, we were being bad protesters. They were coming down in full force and putting hands on, slapped a child, grinded handcuffs up this lady's face, and afterwards, after putting handcuffs up this lady's face, they've arrested her and her partner.
That's right, yeah.
The comments of the officers here, we are robots, we don't have an opinion, we just follow orders. So what are those orders? We'd like to see. Can we ever see them orders? Because what those orders were to come in and abuse and physically attack our members of the public, because that's all they done. And we got all the footage of it. So
they didn't actually, when she kept on asking them, what am I being arrested for? And they didn't ever tell her.
I was walking with her from the Hedge. She sat on that bank, right? And she was doing absolutely nothing wrong. She sat there. She didn't want anyone coming out of there, or didn't want anyone risking going in there and falling into the road. Do you know what? She just become a human block, a safety block.
Yeah.
You know, she didn't have to put herself through that risk, but she's been a really good person for the community. She's been fantastic. So they've seen her as a strength, which was a weakness to them. And we've spotted that behaviour with them, and we're on to them.
Bram actually pointed something out on there.
The Queen.
They've actually filmed it, and it says Queen's Bench Division, and it should be King's Bench Division.
There's a little typo there.
It's a stamp.
As I said, we are going through things with a really fine tooth
so
comb,
you should.
There was another thing now. They just had a delivery. Small. It looked like a small booklet or something like that, possibly.
So you're really, literally, like anything that goes in there, you are.
We're trying to find out what it is.
Yes.
Basically, we probably, within a bit of time, we won't even need a police force in this town.
No.
So we'll probably start paying less taxes with our own independency.
We should do.
Because
we
we've
should
been
do.
policing this ourselves.
Yeah.
Nobody's come along as a representation for the hotel, as in hotel owner. We've run
No.
hotels.
Well, nobody has. Nobody.
And
Absolutely
no,
nobody.
well, on the very beginning, on
he
the
did,
7th,
yeah.
but he hasn't returned you since.
And you don't.
to bring in a new security group who failed to put their badges
They could
on.
be anyone.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And well, what about like public spokespersons? Obviously, I know you guys are here, but
we all speak
is anyone
about
like but like in the media, I've seen little on mainstream media.
And you
But
won't.
who are the ones who have spoken on this?
There
I've
is,
seen-
the only person I think that had actually spoken on any mainstream media is Rob Lloyd, who, in our opinion, is an absolute waste of time.
yeah.
I don't quite understand that man myself. He
No.
seems to kind of appear when there's a bit of an uproar
Well,
and something
politician,
can
that
get
is.
twisted. Yeah, it's Labour. It's with Labour, am I right? Yeah. There we go. We don't want
the
them.
other day, we saw him walking up from by the mini roundabout down there. He was walking up and he was on his phone.
Yeah, checking.
About 10 minutes later, BBC Wales cameras turned up.
The most twisted media going.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Just look at COVID and lockdowns, for example, with them guys.
Do you?
GB News have been sharing correct
That's
news.
what I seen.
Yeah.
GB
Brilliant,
News on. Yeah.
fantastic.
Fair play to him.
Patrick Christie's.
Yeah.
Yeah. What to people out there then, the public? Well, first of all, have any of you had any like kind of personal interaction with anyone, maybe giving you some negative stick for this?
Maybe that. If you want to point your camera at the window, that is being reported, and there's CCTV surveillance in the area that.
If you can see that, guys, yeah.
I mean, there's been as the officer said last night, it looks like a slingshot. So they've targeted the caravan. Somebody could have been sat there, and that's eye level, right?
Yeah.
And that is a serious offence, and we
Yeah.
will have that footage. So maybe it'd be best if that person comes forward and says, I've behaved out of character.
What do you think about? Do you have any kind of remorse for any of these people who might be coming in, these migrants? You know, some of them
we've
might not have a say
right.
that they're coming here. They might just be, we'll take whatever we're given.
In our
but
family hotels, we've housed families. We've housed Russian families, Syrian families, Turkish families. We've
Yeah.
housed them. I don't have a problem with how they housed people before. But these projects, throwing 95 staff out of their work, putting people into a hotel where that was a thriving business as it was.
It was, yes.
Why we got our own people, I'm going to mention the name of the place, is a Vista Hotel, 20 bedrooms with 19,000 people on the Carmarthenshire housing waiting list. Why do they have to live rough in the Vista Hotel, and these 250 people are going to go and have spoon-fed 4-star hotel?
yeah,
65%
Wouldn't
of
the switch of that be okay? Wouldn't the numbers of 15 be more suitable at a time rather than 250,
Well, if they-
300 at a time?
if they put one in each bedroom, 77 people, it'd be a
They're
lot
not
better.
going to get on with, like, that's not going to work, one in a bedroom.
yeah.
No.
And what I've
Like,
To
if
be
they
able
want
to
to
get
house
240 in there, they've
they're
got to
gonna be
put
putting,
three into a room at
and
least.
some
Yeah.
rooms are not going to be big enough for
No.
free, so they're going to be like 8 for some rooms.
Yeah.
That's just not healthy.
And it's not like these are family members
Have you
coming
ever
over.
been
No.
to these
No.
hostel places? Like, you can't
Yeah.
wait till the weekend's over.
Of
These are
course.
what's set till when? What date?
Well,
I got told they're not going to be staying there either. They will have to leave in the day. So, like looking at the
right.
setup of this village, it's very on top of each other. Each street's like a layer of a hill. I just can't
Disgusting.
imagine how they are going to kind of roam
There's
freely
nothing for
around
our
here.
own kids to do, yeah, let alone for these to do, yeah. They're going
Yeah.
to get bored. They're going to be, performing what is not a crime to them. It's normal activity in their
Yeah.
country. Don't even understand our culture. And they're going to put that many in one go that
Well,
is said to be from traumatic
Yeah.
lifestyle, but
we've got a nursery just up the road there with 5-year-olds and 4-year-olds, 6-year-olds.
I wouldn't really want my, child going to that
And then
nursery now. To be
We've
honest.
also got 1, 2, 3 primary schools within very close proximity. We've got 1, 2, 3 secondary modern for the older kids, for 11 up. But, and that's the type
house
of people they go
prices, their
after.
value have gone down. There's
Yes.
people who want to
Yeah.
generally move from the area, not just because of this. They wanted to move anyway. Houses were up for sale. They're now stuck here.
There's
Why
one,
should that happen to them? That's so unfair.
there is one person as I feel very sorry for. She actually purchased a house here and she came up to do some work in the house, to have a look and take some measurements before they actually moved in. And the first thing she knew about it was when she picked the note up off the floor that said that they were coming here. She paid full price for it. And the council had been sitting on the fact that they were coming for 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, it's how it all came about was very, very sly, really, wasn't it? And sneaky.
No, it's just planned. It's corrupt. You know, you ask your people. We are the taxpayers.
Yeah.
Ask us and listen to us. They haven't done any of that. They haven't even bothered coming up here to show their faces. They were there at that meeting, lied.
Yeah.
Lied on anything else. Showed up with the stand up to racism. We welcome refugees here.
Yeah.
They ain't going to take that in any of their spare houses.
Where did that come from then? You know, who were these people?
The stand up to racism guys. They're like run by some unison. They're all from Swansea, local from Swansea.
So you think that they
but
get?
they're called
so
stand
they're not
up
from.
To racism to Netflix.
So they're not from here, and they probably work for an agency,
yeah,
and
they
say
get
any
£30 payment each time they come to a protest.
So it's false.
Of the things
of
that
course,
was stamped,
bribery, and that's an offence.
Yeah, one of the funny things it was that was. What was I saying? My train of thought disappeared then.
You were talking about the standard racism.
Yes, the one of the stamps that was in the corner. It was what they call a QR code in the corner, and it said Swansea Marxist Group.
And do you know what? Some of these they've tried sneaking into our protests as well. They've tried sneaking into our crowd. We've
to find out.
When
they sat there like listening, and we're like, can you see how much you stand out? They're just sitting there, and we have had to remove them. We know there's more lingering around.
When we marched,
to be honest, we've let them linger around a little bit because we're just watching them a little bit more. I mean, these guys, right? I do security. There's loads of these. When this is over, I'm sending them on actual courses to get licensed because they've been brilliant. We're going to start our own Llanelli saucepan security company. So what do you think?
What does saucepan stand for, just for the people, and where did it come from?
Save
our Stradey Park and neighbourhood.
That's beautiful. It seems like you've kind of made up your mind, and you're kind of accepting reality that they are coming. It's no longer don't have them here, but it seems like you're already preparing for what happens when they do come.
Absolutely.
But just for the people to know, you're not exactly just going to pack up your stuff and go, are you?
No, definitely not. No.
Well, she perked up there.
Mum's Mum's the word. Yeah, mum's the word.
Yeah, Johnson.
We're not going nowhere. We're staying.
I'm not going anywhere.
Definitely not going anywhere.
I'm quite happy here. We got shelter.
The point is they are talking about as well of moving them into the communities. We're not going to give up. We don't want them in the communities. If they're all in there, we've got an idea where most of them are at most of the time. But if you actually put in 3 or 4 different lots into a street, you can't track them anywhere. And one of the camps had just had £15,000 spent on entertainment for them, Xboxes, etc., etc., etc.
Well, the thing is, being favoured so highly, right? There's got to be contracting and promises going on there. So what was brought to me by an inside information leak, I'm not going to share his name for his protection, but he brought to my attention that these guys are being brought here to train, being brought here on contracts, on £20,000 EU contracts, to train here to go to Ukraine to fight. So I mean, if there's truth in it behind that, and the Home Office and government, not me sticking up for these refugee, immigrants, migrants, whatever the terminology to call them, but if they are being promised like incorrect information as well, then no wonder they are complaining about what they're getting if they're being promised else, others. So that's not a bad thing to press on, is speak with them as well. That's similar to what it was
I mentioned earlier on. About if you want to attack a country, what you do, you put your advanced parties in here, there, everywhere, and I can see it coming. And I'm repeating myself a little bit, but I can see it coming. WEF will guarantee that we are controlled one way or another, and I can see it being these cells of people they're putting into the different communities. They are going to be told, if you want to stay here, you're going to have to do as we tell you.
Yeah. I mean, in years to come, are you going to have more, where are these guys coming from, Afghan, Iran, are you going to have more foreigners populating UK
Well, it already
you
is.
have British
I
people.
did ask him, like, and maybe that's what we can kind of finish on is like, where do you see Britain going then in the next
I won't
10
repeat
years?
what
I
said.
voted to leave. Guys, where the hell has that gone? To leave was to close the borders and to control it. They're doing the complete opposite. And didn't we win that Brexit? We voted to leave. We won that.
Brexit means
Where
Brexit.
did those
I heard.
votes go?
Yes.
This is exactly why we need independence. Get shot of Labour, get shot of Conservatives. They're probably going to come for me for saying that.
It's really
I
refreshing to
haven't
hear
voted
from
for
you
them
guys though,
since.
because if you're like if I said any of this in Cardiff or in Newport or even in the Rhondda Valleys, if I say stuff like this, I'm a racist for this. Like I am, I'm a bigot and I'm a racist.
Well, that's all they got to throw
Well,
at
I'm
you.
a
Come
member-
at us with something harder, guys, because
I'm
it
a
really
member.
ain't
I'm a
working.
member of a political party, and we're used to being called racist.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh my God,
Yeah.
you got more
I-
votes. You're a racist for that, Derek. Goodness me.
But there we go. We're always racist.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for your time. I really hope things go well, and I think
you.
we'll definitely
Thank you
come
for
up
calling.
again. Yeah, definitely.
You're welcome anytime at the Hedge quarters.
Yeah, well,
You can see we've got a special branch here. We're
Yeah.
not the 10. We're not the 10 Mid and West Wales police officers that stood there and guarded a hedge.
yeah.
The ones they could stand there and do that. Hang on, Derek. They stood there and done that, but they couldn't go in Saturday morning and check up these licences that
No.
were
Yeah.
allocated to were working on fake IDs, fake SIA licences.
Crazy.
None of them put them on for some bizarre reason. By law, we have to have them on display.
One of them's got a false ID, using a false ID because he'd
Definitely,
actually
yeah.
done prison
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
So
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'll bring the mics up next time. Make sure the gas canister's waiting for the coffee.
Yeah.
Good luck. Proud of all of you. I'll see you all soon.
Thank you.
thank you very much.
The Central Club.